I am Melissa, Corey's mum. Been a mum for 24 years. Corey has an elder biological sister and two stepsisters, and I've been a CF mum for 20 of those years. I grew up in southwest Sydney, and currently Corey and I live in the Hills district of Sydney. A fun thing about me, mums aren't fun. I don't know, we like a good party, so I guess that is a fun thing that we love being social and being out with friends. So yeah, that can be pretty fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a dance
Most
floor.
times.
When there's a dance floor involved.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Corey. I'm 20 years old. I live in Sydney with my mum. Fun fact about me is that I'm an actor and I'm a massive 80s geek. Got that from my own mum right here. Love 80s films, and I live with CF.
He got the 80s from me, not the geek thing from me.
Yeah. How would I describe mum in 3 words? Well, first of all, you're very loving. Another word is, I would say, very supporting. You know, I wouldn't have been able to achieve everything that I have throughout my life without your support and your guidance. And then the last word to top it all off is caring. Love you too.
3 words to describe Corey. It's a good day, so they'll be nice words today.
I hope so.
You, above all, he's kind. He's kind to people he knows. He's kind to people he doesn't know. He's kind to his family. He's just a kind-hearted person. Another word is resilient. Your resilience amazes me. You have always just taken everything in your stride and just dealt with things as they've come along. And the third word, actually, I could keep going, but the third word is hardworking. You've got a really good work ethic, and you set your mind to something and you just make it happen despite any obstacles that might be in your way. You just get it done. So super proud of you for all of those things. So my relationship with Corey has evolved. You know, in the beginning, I was concentrating on protecting Corey from the world and from germs and from any sort of nastiness whatsoever. I think that growing up, it was just a series of baby steps. So, you know, at first there was the whole wrap him in cotton wool type thing, and then he would start daycare, and that was a baby step, and then he'd start school, and that was a baby step, and going on the first overnight excursion was another baby step. So it's been a series of those kind of letting go of things, and then CF adding that extra layer. So going away for his first night without me and having to take his own medication as a young boy. What else would there be? Like driving a car was a big stepping stone for us. And getting a girlfriend was another big stepping stone for us. Trikafta was a big stepping stone for us because you didn't need me as much after that. It was life-changing for you and allowed you to be much more independent. Unfortunately for me, Trikafta came at the same time as driving and leaving school and turning 18 and growing up, so it was a very big rip off the Band-Aid. But I think overall having CF has brought Corey and I closer. I mean, there's not many opportunities that you get to be away from work and just focusing on each other. And we would have that through doctor's appointments and sicknesses, and used to love hospital stay. We used to both love hospital stays because it would just be 2 weeks of just the two of us and room service and no housework and just
get to lay in bed all day and eat takeaway and watch 80s movies.
Yeah. So look, yes, it has evolved a lot, but I'm grateful for the relationship that cystic fibrosis has given us, because it's given us a closeness and a bond that we wouldn't have had otherwise, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think I found as Corey grew up that my whole purpose was being a mother. Corey has 3 sisters, and they're all older, so he was kind of like the last one, and he was the highest maintenance child. So when he started to get older and graduate high school, it was very hard for me to figure out what was next, like what my purpose was now, especially with Trikafta. There was a whole new, like, he's going to be okay kind of weight off my shoulders as well. So the strategies that I put in place is I had a big reset for myself. I put my own oxygen mask on, so to speak, and started to do some self-care and put me first. And then I found I started thriving again. The kids all started thriving, and it's just been a much better environment now, where we just all love hanging out with each other, and I'm not sad that part of my life is over. I'm still their mum. I'm just going to be a mum in a different way from now on. The first time Corey went to clinic on his own, I felt it felt very strange. It's like I felt like I should have been there, but it was a whole inside my head, like trying to justify the fact why I wasn't there, and would he be okay, and would he ask all the right things. But I felt better when Corey rang me just before and said, "Mum, what do I need to ask for? What scripts do I need? What happened? What else do I have to ask? Like, when was my last blood test? Do I need to..." So even though I'm not physically there with him anymore, I am still there, and he couldn't do without me. So just, I think the biggest difference between the Children's Hospital and the adult clinic now is that I don't have to pay him for his lung function results anymore. So unfortunately, he's on his own there now.
Yeah.
Feeling overwhelmed happens a lot. You're fighting this fight with no finish line in place, and sometimes it does get on top of you, despite all the treatment, despite all the precautions you put in place, despite how careful you are. Sometimes it kind of wins the fight a little bit. And I think I never showed Corey that I was ever overwhelmed. So for me, it was a lot of leaning on my husband and crying in private, and crying to his doctors, but Corey never saw the overwhelm, because I felt like he had it harder than I did. So why was I complaining? We would just get on with it. But then also, Corey just struggled to find an answer to that question, because he was never overwhelmed by CF. Yeah. He always had it in hand. He always just took it each day as it comes. I do remember one time when he did have this whole, can I do this? And it was when he first started at NIDA this year. He all of a sudden you know, he was getting up early, he was travelling, he was doing a full day, he was tired, he didn't have time to do his treatments properly, and just the whole, this is what he wanted his whole life, and then he's got there and it was hard work, and it was all hard work, and he had to find the balance between looking after his health and following his dreams, but in true Corey style, that lasted only probably a week.
Yeah.
And he picked himself up and put his big boy pants on and took charge of the situation.
I think the reason being is I didn't really get overwhelmed in the younger years is because you took a lot of the load growing up with CF. It was more you navigating the disease rather than me, and kind of setting me up to achieve all my goals in the future. And then now I'm dealing it myself a lot more. You know, becoming an adult, I'm 20 now, so I'm in that adjusting to that lifestyle. And yeah, those couple of weeks going into full-time uni at NIDA, it was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle, trying to find a schedule to keep on my treatments. I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would be on the train by 6 to get there for a 9 a.m. start. And then I'd be home at 7:30 p.m. And then after dinner, and I'll read a play, or I'll do some work for the next day or the next week ahead at school. I just couldn't fit in the time to look after myself and my own health. And so that was kind of when it dawned on me, wow, Mum has really been helping me throughout my younger years, and now that I'm an adult looking after myself, it's hard work.
You also didn't want to burden anybody with how you were feeling, or you didn't want to seem ungrateful because you feel like you've been given this great opportunity. Like only 25 people get into NIDA, and we were just sitting down at dinner one night and you just broke down and started crying because you were holding it all in, because you just don't want to be a burden. And I think that you need to remember that we love you. You're not a burden. It's been such a privilege to look after you and help you navigate this. And you will never be a burden on anyone. So please don't ever feel like that again and not tell somebody about it, because we don't like seeing you upset. And yeah, it's not worth it. Doing it on your own, it's not
really
worth
isn't.
it. No. Well, I don't know that we purposely set out to do it. It was not a strategy. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
You know, Corey credits me for a lot of this stuff, but it's just Corey's personality that he would get excited about going to the hospital, and he would have his list of all the shows that he was going to watch, and the only thing you didn't like was the clown doctors, because he did get to an age where he was too cool for those. So it'd be
which was a shame, really. I mean, they're terrific people.
Yeah.
And they do their job
I've just outed you. But no. Corey would be no eye contact.
Yeah, when I was 16, 17, can't be seen. Bring Darth Vader back in. I'll have a chat with him.
So there were things about the hospital that weren't great. Like he never got to go to the Starlight Room because of infection control, and he never got to make any other friends with CF. But it was great family time, and even his elder sister, who was left behind, used to think it was a great time as well because she could stay at a friend's place, or it was a fun activity for her when Corey was in hospital as well. So, and I guess the other thing would be, like, we would let everybody know that at his school that he was going in, so they would all write him cards. And he would spend time looking at those and feeling pretty special. So Yeah, I don't think we ever had any strategies in place. We were always just taking everything as it came, and I'm really lucky that Corey was who he was, and just you know, you have asked why probably twice in your life. Why me? Why CF?
Yeah.
Other than that, he's always been pretty positive. So yeah. No strategies, just I guess just
pushing through and accepting it.
Yeah, and not dwelling on the bad things. Just that's what you would do, is all the positive things about being in hospital. Like I'm going to get all my food brought to me. And when you were older and you would be in the adolescent ward with all the teenage girls, you were pretty excited about that, because they'd all come in and wave to you as you went past. And especially on hair washing night, they all wash their hair on the same night. We could smell shampoo. So yeah, it was good. But like,
there was one solution we came up with to kind of make visiting clinic a bit more fun, and not that I condone it, but we were very competitive, and so we would have competitions, what I could score on my lung function, and if I reached a certain percentage, I would earn a little bit of money.
Payday?
Well, first when I was younger, I got to pick any toy I wanted at Toys R Us, and then as I got older, it was payday.
Yeah. And then Brendan in the lung function would start saying, Corey, if I help you out, will we split the money?
Yeah.
So
because he wanted to buy a new TV.
Yeah.
So he was saving up to buy a new TV. So. But
I think that was I found out pretty early on that Corey was very competitive.
Because you were competitive.
So if you're not going to win, what's the point in doing it?
Learned behaviour.
Yeah. So there would always be a challenge thrown. So it's like your lung function has to be 100%. And they was doing that a lot. So we were saying it has to be 110%. Or you'd do the beep test and have to get up to at least level 12. If he had a goal to get to, he was pretty good at reaching it. So,
which always helps, setting
goals
and trying to reach those and attain those.
Yep.
Best solution ever, to just take every day and work hard at getting there.
Do you like how we call bribery goals?
That's why I said I don't condone bribing on achieving good lung function results with money, but setting goals for yourself and working hard at achieving those goals through bribery.
When you first get the cystic fibrosis diagnosis, it's a very hard time. As people kind of find out, or you start telling people, you'll get some comments like, oh yeah, I knew somebody with CF, but they passed away. That you get lots of people who say things without thinking. You'll also get people saying, don't Google. My advice is to Google. My advice is to do all your research, the good, the bad, the ugly, anything that you could find, and arm yourself with as much information as you can, because you're not going to be fighting this forever. Since Corey was born, the advances in CF they've come so far, and I was really fortunate that with Corey's diagnosis, when the first day we met his doctor, he said to me, there will be a cure for this in Corey's lifetime. You just need to keep him as well as you can until that cure is found. So we just lived every day with hope. And when you have hope, then you can do anything. And I never ever thought that this disease was going to take Corey away from me. If anything, this has made Corey who he is, and I would not change one thing about him. It's been such a privilege to be his mother, and the things that CF have given us, the opportunities that it's given us, and also the perspective that it's given us. You can't get that without knowing what it feels like to have a child who is facing this sort of challenge and this sort of health what's the word, like a health challenge. And, you know,
Yeah.
people say when you're pregnant, I don't care what sex the baby is as long as it's healthy. You have no idea how much that resonates once you have a child who is not necessarily healthy. So just take each day as it comes. You can't change yesterday, you can't change tomorrow, but you have absolute power over what happens in that day with your child's health. Advocate for them. Don't be embarrassed. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And you can thrive. And Corey's kicking goals and living out his dreams, and it has not held him back one little bit.
Something I would like to share with families with a newborn diagnosed with cystic fibrosis is just going off my own lived experiences and how I was parented and brought up, is accepting the fact that they have the disease and that they have cystic fibrosis, but treating them as if you were going to treat your child knowing that they would be completely healthy. You know, they're going to grow up and want to achieve certain goals, and they're going to figure out interests that they have and things that they love and hold dear, and they're going to want to try out sport or try out a musical instrument and all these different things. And I think it would be silly to hold them back and kind of put them in this bubble wrap because of their disease and that they have cystic fibrosis. I think keeping them healthy and looking after them so they can achieve those things they can get out of life is the most important thing. And setting them up for, you know, the most fulfilled journey they can have.
And they will still be naughty, so still punish them.
Yeah.
They still need grounding.
Well,
they still need boundaries.
Yeah, that's the thing, that you know, they're still just a normal child, and they have something that is unique and different than anyone else. So encourage that with them, and celebrate that fact of what they're going to learn through that disease. You know, resilience, being able to push themselves in a way that no one else would experience unless they have cystic fibrosis. And I think just
being grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful for everything.
Grateful for what life gives you. You know, everything happens for a reason.
So as Corey's transitioned from a boy to a young adult, I guess we've always been, Corey's always had boundaries. Corey has always been punished for doing the wrong thing. You know, Corey has siblings and they fight, and it's not always their fault. Sometimes it was your fault. And he was just like, he was a very good kid though. But then, and I probably, because I don't know if I was, you know, the little moments were kind of bigger. When Corey achieved something, he kind of got a little bit, not more credit, because, you know, we do celebrate when everyone in the family achieves a goal, but I think like I felt proud because despite all of these, he was still kicking these goals. So maybe I had him on a little bit of a pedestal, and then as he got older, he fell off with a thud because he became normal, and well, he became a normal teenager, and that, you know, with that started the partying and the drinking as transitioning out of school. And I think cystic fibrosis has that added layer of you're on a lot of medication as well. So when you go out with your friends, they could probably drink a little more than you. And it took Corey a little while to figure out what his limits were with that. He couldn't keep up with his friends. I think he also, you know, he's never been embarrassed of his CF, but he's always known that he had it and his friends didn't. And I think that made him kind of, you know, he wanted to be exactly like them when they went out, and nothing was going to hold him back. And sometimes that his health did suffer because of that. So, you know, he came back from schoolies with influenza A, RSV and COVID. So it was
a rough time.
It was a rough time. Yeah. And I think with any child, the boundaries are not going to really kick in until they decide for themselves that these are my boundaries, because what do mums know? So it's been a learning curve for you as you've gotten older. For me, it was, I had to let go and let you make the mistakes. And for you, you had to learn from them. So, you know, it's still a partnership. And I'm there when you fall, a little bit cranky, but still there when you fall to pick you back up. And Corey, I don't so much get angry at you, I get disappointed, which is, I think hits you a bit harder than me getting angry and punishing you. So he does a lot of punishing himself. His boundaries, I think, he's set for himself.
And those mistakes growing up, you know, that's a part of life. But sometimes I think back to those moments when I was in my teens and, you know, navigating my health while also wanting to do everything that my friends did and partying. And yeah, sometimes there's part of me that want to take them back, but now I'm a better person for it, learning from those mistakes. And I wouldn't change who I am today at all. So it's kind of, thank you. So when I was in my late teens and I was navigating that balance between staying healthy and focusing on my CF while also not missing the opportunity of partying with friends and having those experiences, I unfortunately prioritized friendship, and which isn't terrible, obviously, but I prioritized it over my health and my CF. And so I think for me it was just about, I've stayed healthy for so long throughout my life, and I've pushed hard, and I got to go on Trikafta, and I think Trikafta, is fantastic as it is, it blurred the lines for me a little bit because I felt so healthy, and I felt like I didn't really need to have this strict routine as I used to. And so I thought I could test the limits of my health and where my CF affects me. And unfortunately, it turns out I actually did get sick when I tested those limits. Obviously, I don't know why that was such a surprise to me. But yeah, I wouldn't say there was much thought in those moments beyond me thinking I've kind of earned to celebrate, earned to party with my friends, and even just, I've always seen CF as just an aspect that makes me me. I've never looked at it of the disease it really is, and what it does to my lungs and everything. I've just always kind of worked hard at maintaining it and making sure I'm not going to clinic all the time and being hospitalized. So I guess I just saw myself as any other normal teenager, thinking I was unbreakable.
And I mean, Corey's always been quite healthy CF-wise. But that's not luck. That's like, we have both worked really, really hard. You know, we've listened to doctors, we've done all the treatments, we've, you know, if there's been a slip up, we've got back on track, or we've tried something new. And the problem with CF is it's always so grey. Sometimes there's not the answer for why did he get this? Well, where did he get it from? Why, despite this antibiotic, is this still hanging around? It's different every time. So I think, you know, Corey kind of did take it for granted that he was healthy and thought he could just be like everyone else. And he can be like everybody else. He just needs to know his limits. Like everybody needs to know their limits, and some are different than others.
Yeah.
I think the lessons that I've learned since having a child with cystic fibrosis and being thrown into that whole world of medicine is, there are so many people out there with so many stories that you're never aware of. Like we just walk around in our own little world and don't know that there's, the only thing I had heard about cystic fibrosis before Corey was from watching medical shows. And, they'd be at lung transplant stage on these medical shows. So it was quite frightening. And it stops you from thinking that, I think it was kind of my first reality check, really, that life is hard and it's hard for a lot of people. So, yeah, I think living with CF has just given me a new perspective on other people and their stories and their families and their struggles, and being grateful for the things that I have.
Yeah, that's great that you said that. Because I agree. I think lessons I've learned growing up with CF is you truly don't know what people are going through. And I think empathy is one of the greatest qualities you can carry throughout this life. And putting yourself in other people's shoes and taking a step back when conflict happens or when someone says a comment that doesn't really sit with you, and taking a step back and realizing what they're going through today. How did their day look? How does their life look? And as people, we truly value connection and surrounding ourselves with people that will lift us up and brighten our day. And I think the most important part, I think the most important thing I've learnt growing up with CF is how important it is to have that support group around you and have people that will fight for you and care for you and build you up and push you forward in life, and yeah.
Corey's had been lucky too. He had the same, at the Children's Hospital, same doctor, same nurse,
Yeah.
from the day he was diagnosed. So, I think they were kind of like your extended family. And when he wouldn't listen to Mum, he would at least listen to Haran. Yeah. So,
and then going to clinic as well and catching up with them and saying hi. And when I was doing sports, my doctor Haran would always give me advice. He always told me to skip because I was going to be a runner. Just those moments. You can never plan those moments out in life, but there's those moments of what you hold dear. And I think that's probably the best thing I've been able to experience with CF.
I remember then when we were leaving the Children's Hospital. So I think Corey was admitted for what I knew was going to be his last time there, because he was he was close to 18, and the clinic at Westmead Adults was nearly finished, though we were hoping for more delays so that you could be at the Children's Hospital longer. And I remember walking out of the door, and just outside the door of the ward was 3 beds. There was like a tiny cot, and then there was a bigger cot, and then there was a normal sized bed. And it was kind of like, it was like the end of an era feeling for me. And I went and got what Corey had asked me to get him from the shop, and I think sat down and cried for a little while, and then got myself together and came back and carried on where we left off. But I think leaving, I never thought I'd be comfortable at the hospital. And I mean, we've had friends who have said, I hate going to the hospital. It makes me feel this, makes me feel that. And it was different for me. I was like, I love the hospital because they have done so much to help you. They've done so much to help me, and they do so much to help everybody. And so, it's actually, it's actually a place that I feel comfortable and a place that I love. And who would have thought, you know, you've got such an appreciation for the people that work at hospitals because they're there because they care. They're not there for the money. They're not there, you know, for the holidays. They're not there for the work-life balance. They definitely love people and they love what they do. So, yeah, I have so much appreciation for the medical, is it an industry? The medical team that look after everybody. So
something that I would like to say to you that I haven't said before out loud is how much I truly and deeply appreciate everything you've done throughout the years for me. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And, you know, you've told me stories when you were younger, when I was just born, and the doctors were saying, oh, don't research into cystic fibrosis. You shouldn't research into it. It's fine. And you didn't listen. And you immediately went home and researched every possible outcomes that you could know about, and did everything in your power to make sure I was healthy and that I could achieve anything I wanted in this life. And for that, I am truly grateful. And I just love the fact that I've had you by my side since day one through navigating through this disease. I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. I think I have pretty much always told you how I felt about you. So you've asked me before, do I wish that you didn't have cystic fibrosis? And that's a very hard question for me because, of course, I would love for you to be healthy and I would love for there to be nothing wrong with you. But cystic fibrosis has been such a big part of yours and my life, and all of the challenges and all of the situations that it has put us through has made our relationship what it is, and it's made you who you are. And I wouldn't change one thing about you. So unfortunately, that also includes cystic fibrosis because that is one part of you. And to me, you are perfect, exactly as you are.
That's awesome. So, quick fire. Who's more likely to forget where they put their keys? Who's the bigger drama queen? Who tells the best jokes?
Oh, that's modest.
Who is more stubborn when arguing? Who's more likely to eat dessert first?
Neither of us.
Yeah.
We're still eating the main meals.
Yeah.
Who's the better dancer? Who gives the better advice? Who's more competitive?
Yeah.
Who's the bigger morning grump?
Sorry.
Who's more likely to start a silly argument just for fun?
Yeah, we're pretty similar sometimes. So yeah.
I'm not sure.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.